Shortly before the events of the Phantom Menace, Yoda sensed a unique disturbance in the Force that only he could feel, causing him to embark on an adventure that ultimately led him to an unknown planet. When he landed, Yoda felt the presence of something powerful and ancient that laid within the planet. As he left his ship to explore, the old master came across a group of young children, all armed with primitive weapons. They foolishly attacked the Jedi, only to be amazed by his great power as he effortlessly repelled their attacks. Believing he was some sort of deliverer from a legend of theirs, the children led Yoda back to their home and explained how their world came to ruin. Long before, the people of the planet lived in peace and were energized by mystical blue mountains that spanned across the land. However, one day, a group of natives got greedy and decided to take all the power for themselves, destroying the mountains and absorbing its contents so they could use its power directly. It got so bad that nearly everyone but the young either died or were forced to flee the open lands. Hoping to learn more of the so-called stone power and possibly bring peace to the planet, Yoda traveled to the tribe that had conquered the mountain and now resided under its shadow. The Jedi Master was surprised to discover how this tribe as well consisted of only children, except this time they were filled with darkness and were far more powerful than the earlier tribe he had encountered. When they attacked Yoda, they summoned nearby blue stones and shot them at the Jedi Master at full force. Although Yoda was able to defend himself to some extent, there was something odd about the stones that were being launched at him. For some unusual reason, Yoda was unable to use the full extent of his powers on them, and since he refused to retaliate as he didn't wish to harm children, the Jedi Master had to take the hits from the merciless children until he was subdued. Now captured and put into chains, the children forced Yoda to climb the giant mountain and to find a thing called the Heart of the Mountain, a task that apparently had resulted in the deaths of all others who'd taken it. Curious at what laid before him, as well as believing he would learn more about the mystery that surrounded the mountain and the power it gave, Yoda embarked on the journey that was forced upon him without much resistance. When he arrived at the top and entered the mountain, Yoda discovered a group of adults who had been exiled and that resided within the caves as a means of living in safety. While within the deep caves, the Jedi Master came across a young boy who had been banished from the earlier tribe due to refusing to use the stone power to kill during the war. After being saved by the Jedi Master, the boy accepted to teach Yoda this unique power. Over the course of a few days, Yoda was trained to hone in on the power of the stone, quickly understanding how to use it and getting closer to learning how it was connected to the Force itself. Finally, Yoda was able to achieve a feat so great using the stone power that even his teacher was impressed, stating how it had never been done before. And that was because Yoda now understood why he was unable to control the stone as swiftly as before, as it was never stone in the first place. The so-called mountain was instead a living creature, not a rock that was embedded in the Force as the Jedi Master originally had thought. He quickly discovered that this giant creature was barely alive, which was one of the reasons Yoda was unable to feel that the rocks were pieces of a living creature in the first place. Hoping to save this phenomenal creature from death, Yoda spent over a week meditating near its heart and sharing his life force. Finally, once the creature was healed well enough, it began to speak to the Jedi Master whom had healed it. It told Yoda how its people once ruled over the very planet they were on, but were destroyed one by the ancient humans that colonized the world, to the point where the few surviving ones had to go into a deep hibernation, later being mistaken for mountains. And at the end of it all, Yoda understood that he may have made a mistake. This gigantic creature was filled with hatred and anger toward the humans that nearly caused its kind to go extinct. Now it was out for revenge. Eventually, the mountain creature rose from its deep slumber at full power and prepared to wreak havoc on everyone nearby. Yoda initially tried to calm the creature down from its own hatred, but ultimately failed. The darkness within it was too great. He would have to fight. When the creature stood at full height, Yoda appeared as a mere bug to the giant. When the tiny Jedi Master announced he would stand against its path of destruction, the creature began to laugh and performed its first strike. But Yoda was ready, using the Force to knock the giant back. Surprised at the power of his foe, the giant creature tried again, using its foot in an attempt to crush his enemy. But once again he was stopped, as Yoda held the entire mountain's weight with the Force alone. The fighting between the two continued for quite a bit more, until the giant was able to land a direct blow with his fist. However, it was not over as it believed. as Yoda simply cut through the fist with his lightsaber and lifted it once more with the Force, knocking the entire creature back with a giant Force push. Understanding now that it was no match against the Jedi Master, the giant finally submitted and began to listen to what Yoda had to say, but it was better to show than tell at this point. So through the Force, Yoda was able to do the unthinkable. He called out across the planet for all the other mountain creatures that were deep within their slumber to awaken, to show his initial foe that its people were not truly all gone as it once believed. And with that, Yoda was able to make eventual peace, not only with the giant stone creatures and the humans of the planet, but also with the children and their parents, whom they had exiled long ago. Yoda had finally accomplished the task the Force had called him out for. Thanks for watching this video. Help support the channel by becoming a member on our Patreon page, and be sure to subscribe for more videos like this one. And as always, may the Force be with you.